Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Ashwaq he is a professor of
November 20th of North America. This is the 25th annual winter banquet in Pakistan.
Where you carefully select what you want. But when Umar called me, I can tell you, it was one of the best days of my life. You know, it's one of those things that I really, truly.
कि रेडियो पे दूसरे सुने सुबह सुबह लता के गाने सुनते थे. So that was a confession.
Sort of share our knowledge and maybe some expertise with the local culture.
Here at your annual dinner, we consider it a great honor.
We are honored. Thank you very much.
चेहरे उते गोरे गोरे चेहरे उते काली काली जुल्फियां
अल्लाह मियां थल्ले आ
तो आप लोग की भरपूर तालियों में रहीम शाह
पहले मैं क्योंकि अभी पंजाबी सुना चुका हूँ, एक पश्तो सुना देता हूँ जरा अपना कोई नंबर. उसके बाद ये जरूर आप बहुत प्यार से आइए हिम्मत करके. हो या कुर्बान
Can I request you from Javed Bangash, and I'll be your MC this evening. I'd like to request Dr. Zafar Khan, he's from Chicago, to recite.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Retired Sayyid Iftikhar Hussain Shah, Governor of NWFB, Professor Khalid Mufti Dean and Principal of Khyber Medical College, Dr. Umar Atiq, President of APPNA, Dr. Naseem Ashraf, Chairman of NCHDF, all distinguished faculty members, past and present, APPNA members and friends, Assalamu alaikum. It's a great honor and privilege to welcome you all at the 25th annual banquet and reception, which we are having to commemorate the Golden Jubilee celebration of Khyber Medical College. We thank you all for gracing this occasion. Some of you have come from different parts of the world. We want to thank you for that. A few months ago, Dr. Umar Atiq asked me to organize this program, scientific program. We didn't have too much time, but our committee, I think, did an excellent job and organized a very, very good program. Some of you who have attended the CME yesterday and today saw that it was of really very high caliber. And for that, I really give credit to Dr. Ashfaq Shoaib. He is a professor of university in Canada, very, very well-known neurologist. And of course, also Dr. Abdul Hamid, Professor Abdul Hamid, and his organizing committee. I also want to thank other members of our organizing committee, Tariq Hashim and Dr. Shahid Hamid, who really worked very hard to make this all possible. I also want to thank my wife Rifat, she's here, and my 3 children, Suleiman, Manaz, and Farhan, being so understanding, supportive, and helpful. We want and scientists who have been serving the humanity all over the world. And we are really grateful to them for producing so many, over 7,000 or 8,000 outstanding physicians. Let's give a big hand to them. Yesterday, as you heard, they all decided that the college will be given the status of a university, for which we are very grateful. And I hope, sir, you will do everything possible to make sure that this dream comes true. You have heard this word APPNA so many times. Some of you, of course, most of you know about it, but some of you may be thinking, what is that, APPNA, Paraya? But this is actually the Association of Pakistani Physicians of North America. This was founded in 1976 to create a rallying point for Pakistani doctors in United States and Canada, and to provide a platform for their activities aimed at the improvement of medical education and healthcare in Pakistan. Since the first plenary meeting of 20 members that was held in October of 1976 in Detroit, Michigan, APPNA has grown to be one of the most organized and powerful organizations of Pakistani expatriates in the world. I won't go too much detail, but really they have done lots of good things for Pakistan and for the Pakistanis in America and here. Khyberians have always played a very key role in the activities of APPNA. Dr. Amjad Hussain, a graduate of 1962, and Dr. Naseem Ashraf, graduate. This evening, recognize our president-elect who is here, Dr. Paracha. We also had Dr. Hussain. He's also president-elect of year 2005. Dr. Paracha is a president-elect of 2006. So you can see how democratic we are. You know, we elect.
You're ahead of time.
Right. I also want to recognize the past presidents who are here. Many of them are here. And I'll just try to, there are quite a few, so I'll try to name. And if I miss that, please you tell me. And you know, I can see Dr. Brea sitting right there. Dr. Amjad Hussain. Dr. Naseem Ashraf. Dr. Arain. Dr. Mushtaq Sharif. Dr. Durdana Gilani. And oh yeah, how can I forget Dr. Araf Muslim? And Dr. Shabir Safdar, of course. Okay, well, we are all very thankful.
Honorable Governor, Lieutenant General Iftikhar Hussain Shah, Begum Governor, Mr. Principal, Honorable Faculty and students of Khyber Medical College, my dear APPNA members and guests. It is a pleasure and an honor for me to welcome you all to this banquet tonight, which is the 25th APPNA, or the Association of Physicians of Pakistani Descent. It just changed on November 20th of North America. This is the 25th annual winter banquet in Pakistan, and it is being held in honor of Khyber Medical College, which is not the building or the ground that it stands on, but the people who make it, the principals, the teachers, and the students. As president of APPNA, I can tell you that Khyber, as well as all other medical schools in the country, have done so much for many of us who are sitting here that there is no way we can repay it, and there are no words that can express our gratitude. So I'm going to just leave it at that. Rudyard Kipling, several decades ago or centuries ago, said something like, when springtime flushes the desert green, our kafilas wind through the Khyber Pass. And you realize our kafila could not wind through the Khyber Pass, but that's okay, next time. Lean are the camels, but heavy the frails, light are the purses, but heavy the bales, when the snowbound trade of the north comes down to the market square of Peshawar town. And this is pretty much the market square of Peshawar town. So on behalf of all Peshawaris and all people from frontier, I welcome all those who come from places far and wide, like Karachi, Lahore, all places in between, north, south, east or west, Balochistan. It is a special honor for me to welcome you all because that is our tradition. He was extremely busy. I've known him of his schedule. He was extremely busy and he had many things on his plate. And we invited him rather late, but he did not hesitate. And I'm really appreciative of that because he, as the head of the province, has kept our head high. And we thank you for that. As Dr. Bangash said, I called him a few months ago, didn't give him a choice. I said, Javed Lala, Dakar Kudi, which in Urdu or in English would mean Brother Javed. There's no translation of Lala. I mean, you just cannot translate it. It's a burden and it's an honor. And when you call somebody Lala, he has to do what you ask him. So I said, you are going to be organizing our APPNA meeting in Peshawar this winter. And he knew the answer was, okay, take that. We will. And then he started working on it. I can tell you, he's a pediatrician. He is not a meeting organizer. None of others are. Well, some have become that, like Dr. Arif Muslim, but many of us are not. So he just got on it, and he contacted our worthy principal and Dr. Fazal Ahmad and others, and he has been in touch with them, and he has been calling them, and he has been calling me, and the work that he has put in, if you can even appreciate a tenth of that, you would give him a big hand of applause. And I cannot forget the Fox either, our scientific chair, because he's the academic amongst us. We have very few, but the ones that we have, whatever we lack in quantity, we make up for it in quality. And I asked Ashfaq, I said, you have to do that, and he has done a tremendous job. And then everybody else came through, whether it was the past presidents or the future presidents or anybody that I asked of, he or she were very willing to help us do this. And I appreciate that. And I'm not going to name names because I'm going to miss some and then I'm going to be in deep trouble. But there are a couple here in Pakistan who are, by the way, APPNA members. Well, actually, one of them is not, but they are friends. See, the way we do it in frontier, and it's probably maybe true for other parts of the country, that a friend of a friend of a friend is as good a friend as your first friend. So I asked Dr. Shahid Hamid, who many of you know, who was president of KMC, I said, and I'll just give you the translations. We talk in Urdu, Punjabi, Hinko, all languages mixed. So I said, Shahid, you have to take care of this from Pakistan. And he's in Lahore. He said, Fikr mat karo. And then he got his other friend, who I never knew. Well, I knew of him, but I never had met him, Dr. Tariq Hashim Khan, and said, Tariq, this is your job. And what you see here today and what you would have seen in Khyber Pass was Tariq's job. And Tariq is not even here because I think he's practicing right now, seeing patients. And that is what it is. I asked him, I said, you have to come because I really want to recognize. He said, no, that's fine. And he has become a friend. I'm not going, I hate to name Naseem Dr. Naseem Ashraf, for his help. Because to his misfortune, he's related to me. And you know, I don't want people to say there's some akraba parvari going on. But I can tell you that starting from the first day you landed and anything that you saw, Naseem's hand was behind it. And what you saw yesterday, and what you're seeing today, and what you saw the day before, he has been quietly doing that without me even asking him to do that, because he knew he had to do that. As a Khyberian, as a life member of APPNA, as a past president of APPNA, and as a man from Frontier, he has no choice. And so, you know, I just want to let you know, I'm not going to thank him for that, because that's what I expect of him. But thank you anyway. The principal, Fazal Ahmad Saab, Professor Hamid, all the organizing committee, the members, the students, thank you. It's interesting, I started my life's journey here in Peshawar, not far from here, several decades ago. And it's befitting that the journey of my APPNA's presidency would end here tonight. And I want to recognize my friends from Arkansas. And if you hadn't noticed, since I started, you know, there was one thing, we have elections, you know, when we run for it, and when we send literature and we malign other people, and we are now in television and all over the place, you would think that we are running for some M&A seat, but it's just for APPNA president, and it's gotten more and more and more interesting. And there are people who support you. And I have been lucky to find home, away from home, in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and in Newport, Arkansas. There's Dr. Mufiz Chauhan, who's sitting right here, and I have to name him. I want him to stand up. He represents the entire Arkansas for me, and there's Dr. Samar, Dr. Walajai. By the way, we have people who are here, who are from India, who have come to participate with us because they are from Pine Bluff. Dr. Walajai, Dr. Samar, Dr. Khalid Mahmood, Dr. Sadeem Mahmood, and others. They have been with me from day one. They're all very busy practitioners. And all of you that I've noticed, we have had 6 unprecedented meetings in this year. And they have come to all of them, and all I did was to pick up the phone and say, this and this date, we are going to Chicago, to Washington, and there was no question asked. They didn't say we are busy, they didn't say we have to ask our spouses, they didn't say anything. They just got their tickets, and they were there at the airport. And if there's anything that I have been able to accomplish, or APPNA has been, more importantly, APPNA has been able to accomplish this year, that has been because of friends like them and all others who participated. And I have said this 100 times, and I would say it another 100 times, people like Dr. Arif Muslim, who didn't support me in the election, but once I won, he was with me all the way. He is the one who has been in all meetings of APPNA for the last 27 years. And for a guy like me who's already tagged with 6 meetings, and I asked for it, I can appreciate that. I would like to appreciate Dr. Safdar, Dr. Mushtaq Sharif, all the presidents, past presidents, who have done a lot. There's one person who I would really like to appreciate, who I believe, honestly believe, who has done more for APPNA than many others, because he put APPNA on a truly populist democratic footing. That's Dr. Riaz Chaudhry. He has been a friend. He has been there for APPNA, and I really, truly thank him from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to, if I continue to thank him, it would be too long, and I know all of you are hungry, and I promised the military secretary to the governor, I said we would get him back very quickly, unless he wants to say, in which case, obviously, he's our guest. I have been, you know, a lot of good has been said in the last 3 days, and some of it has been misdirected towards me. And it reminds me of a couple of verses from Faragh Bukhari, late Faragh Bukhari, who is a poet from Peshawar. He said, बहुत हसीन है तेरी अकीदतों के गुलाब, हसीन तर है मगर हर गुले ख्याल तेरा, हम एक दर्द के रिश्ते में मुंसलिक दोनों, तुझे अजीज मेरा फन, मुझे जमाल तेरा. And that is my answer to all those, especially those from our medical school. I would say this, and I would finish with this. It has been an absolute honor and a privilege for me, and a very humbling experience to be president of this august organization. My name has gotten with names that are far higher and will always remain so. But I can tell you one thing, that next year and the year thereafter, APPNA is in great hands. We will continue to progress, we will continue to do our job, we will continue to fight for whatever we are fighting in, our civil rights and liberties in the United States, and we will continue to do our work here in Pakistan for the poorest of the poor who bore the burden of our success. I've said this before and I'll continue to say that. There is no way in the world that all these rickshawalas and tangawalas and all those who paid for our education, that we can ever come close to even thanking them, let alone repaying them. But from the bottom of my heart, I would reflect the views of all APPNA members if I say that we are truly grateful. We hope one day all those people who are outside of this tent will come inside of this tent. And when this tent would truly be inclusive, when we would just not be talking about them, but we would be seeing them here. God willing, that day will come. In the end, I have missed a lot of things, but I'm going to stop here. Again, Mr. Governor, Madam, Mrs. Governor, all the guests, thank you very much for coming. If there's anything that we have not done right, I apologize for that. If there's anything that was lacking, that was not because of lack of effort or our will to please you, it just happened. So please overlook that, be our guests. I can't tell you how grateful I am and how delighted I am that you're all here in Peshawar. And now I wear the hat of a guy from Frontier. And to all those, our guests, you have honored us by being here. And I really thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Umar, very much. As I said, Dr. Ashfaq Shoaib, he had worked tirelessly, and I know how busy he is. He's, 1 week he will be in Saudi Arabia, at the time he will be in Australia, and no matter wherever he was, he kept on working, emailing and calling. So I think I'd like to request him to come and say a few words.
Honorable Governor and Mrs. Governor Iftihar, my teachers, friends, students, I only came here for one reason. I wanted to thank him. It's amazing, I have to say that you reach a point in your career when you open your email, the one dreaded thing is, dear Ashfaq, could you, and it starts off as another project for you. And I'm at that stage where you carefully select what you want. But when Umar called me, I can tell you, it was one of the best days of my life. It's one of those things that I really, truly wanted to do. So I want to thank you also, Umar, because I feel that, like you and like Javed, wonderful days. I was sitting today in a pathology lecture hall in one of the programs, and my only misgivings about the whole thing was the program was outstanding, but there weren't enough people there. I thought of the days when I was a student, and all we would do is make plans and throw them down at our teachers. That was a long time ago, and I wouldn't go there right now. But all I wanted to say was, first of all, thank you, because those of us who have worked with Javed, it's just incredible. I mean, he would just get on the phone, and I'll say, I'm actually very busy. I'm stuck in the airport right now. Wouldn't listen to anything. Just carry on with, that's the day, I would say, okay, consider it done. And I also wanted to come and say a special thanks to my colleagues. There are many of them who, like me, have not attended these meetings on a regular basis. And they've only come because we asked them to come. They're outstanding researchers. They're young Pakistani physicians or children of Pakistani physicians. And they came only for one reason, because they wanted to come here and share their knowledge with you. And I want to thank them. And I must also thank the local organizing committee. I want to thank the Dean, Dr. Khalid Mufti. I also want to thank the chair of the scientific committee, Dr. Hamid, and Dr. Zahoor, and of course Dr. Fazal, that we worked so well with, because it is important that you recognize that. I don't usually come and do this kind of presentation at the front, but it's very, very important that you recognize that these are very good people. They work very, very hard. We get a lot of people together, and having done hundreds of programs now, I can tell you this is one of the best programs that we've ever had. I'm going to take a shot at all of you. I wish most of you would come to the programs also, because they're really outstanding. We had a great program today on neurology. Right across the room, there was an excellent program on cardiology going on. There were some outstanding presentations this morning on stem cell research and leukemias, and there were very few people out there. So do come and join us tomorrow. And once again, I came here to thank this man. Before I forget, I also want to thank my wife. She's not going to like me for this. She's sitting back there with our children, because when I'm gone, she takes care of my kids, and I want to thank you also, Tahira.
Thank you very much, Shahad. I just wanted to say something about the Khyber Medical College Alumni Association. This is a part of the APPNA, and since its inception, we have donated over $250,000 worth of, in terms of books and audiovisual equipment and, many things. Sometimes our teachers will just come for a short time. Sometimes, faculty members will go to states for training, etc. So, but just we decided that we wanted to give a gift to Khyber Medical College on their 50th anniversary. So we have created a special fund, and mashallah, we have a very, very significant amount in that fund. There's one individual, Dr. Javed Shirazi. He has donated $10,000 in that fund. So we will try to update the, information resource center, and we'll work with a university in Canada to just try to update or change the type of education, etc. This time I think I'd like to request Principal and Dean of Khyber Medical College, Dr. Mufti, to say a few words.
Honorable Governor, Begum Governor, Honorable Naseem Ashraf, Begum Naseem Ashraf, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a little bit nervous this morning, this evening, very nervous, because my students had made me nervous, and my daughter, Sahar. While I was here, I was coming this afternoon, there are lots of students now, they get crashed, they are here. And they told me, particularly the girls, that sir, we like to have a commitment from you. When you speak tonight, you have to greet Begum Governor first and then the Governor Sahib. I said, look, I have 8 more days to go. I want to serve. I have to be careful. But yet I think it's a great honor for Begum Sahib to be here. And the reason is because Fazal, just by Khuda ka Fazal ho, and he knows, and the Social Welfare Society And the amount of affection and love and the amount of affection and love she has for students, and she has been coming, it was great, nowhere, without any protocol, just like, you know, a volunteer. So how good. Have a nice clapping for Begum Governor as well. So now Begum Governor is also, she is a friend of Khyber Medical College. And I hope, girls, you are happy. You just stand. Let's have an applause for you, the students of Khyber Medical College. You are here. Okay, right. You are sitting behind. Okay. So I've done it. I made the promise. Now, it's difficult for me to speak more in English because after hearing good different accents from the United States, वो मुझे अंग्रेजी भूल गई. सर आज मैं चला गया वापस अपने बचपन में जहाँ हम लोग गुल्ली डंडा खेलते थे. वो सर बैकग्राउंड मौलवियों का था. वो मस्जिद में ज़ोर ज़ोर से वो वालिदैन जाया करते थे और सुबह के नमाज के लिए उठाया करते थे. ये बड़ी प्रॉब्लम डिफ़िकल्टी थी और बड़ी मुश्किल से इधर उधर होते थे. इजाज़त भी नहीं थी कि रेडियो पे दूसरे सुने. सुबह सुबह लता के गाने सुनते थे. So that was a confession. It went on. I just want to tell you one thing, honestly. I want to make a confession, and my confession is, you know, when I go and when I sit with some people, I have friends. I want to, you know, declare, I have friends. In the evenings, afternoon, once or twice a week, I go and sit with these fakirs and these malangs and the culture. I love that. I get peace of mind, whether it is good or bad. I have good Maulvi friends. They are there. I have 5 or 6 people sitting in the mosque right these few days to pray for the success of this whole golden jubilee. Sir, I confess. When I meet the Honorable President and I came and look at him, you know, I had heartbeat. I thought, having a family of heart disease, what will happen? You know, I thought my brother, you know, who is Tariq Mufti, who had a problem, you know, last year, 2 years ago, and I had a palpitation. I said, where is Naseem? I used to have palpitation in England when Naseem was there. I used to call him Naseem. What do I do? Because I'm stuck up. I was never good at biochemistry, I confess, you know. And he used to help me out. So even in the student life, when I was in final year, and he was a bright guy, and my younger brother, and they used to help me. It so happened that, you know, in the anatomy, my younger brother was 2 years younger to me in the class, and Naseem, obviously, they're class fellows. And then I used to go home. I passed the anatomy exam, and next year, after 2 years, my brother used to take a lot of these skulls, bones, etc. at home. And my father told me, look, you know, you don't really, you never brought them, you never used to read. I said, Dad, I read at home. They go for gossiping and they bring these things over there. So I took the credit. You gave me the credit. But let me tell you the final confession. The credit is not me. There is a verse कि बूझने को रक्स पे किस बात में मैं दाद दूँ. बूझने को बंदर को कहते हैं. बूझने को रक्स पे किस बात में मैं दाद दूँ. हाँ ये जायज़ है मदारी को मुबारकबाद दूँ. So you know, around me, my faculty, believe me, they made me like this, you know. And of course, और इसमें the top is the APPNA, and the top is the Secretary General sitting here, such a silent man, and he, you know, midnight, etc. I don't want to go into big details, but I think let us have an applause from our side, from our faculty side, for the General Secretary, Javed Pangas. You know, Umar at times would get, you know, upset because what is happening, and I would calm him, and you know, then Umar would feed me with good ideas. Umar has fed me. Honestly, I love poetry. I just sometimes, I don't recite that, I just read that. I'm not a poet. So Umar just gave me, I never wanted to say verses over here, but Umar started with Jamal. So I think it took me, because sitting with Sufis, you get excited, you go somewhere, you know, it's an ecstasy. And I give you a feedback, because whatever I'm telling you, it's a feedback about, you know, I don't mind people give feedback to me in appraisal. We do it in the class, and they they really upset me sometimes. And yesterday, one feedback was, I'll finish it after that, in 2 words, and I share with you. One very pious man sitting in the president's speech, during that speech, later on, he came to me. With great difficulty, I got him, and he said, and he's a very intelligent man, a very pious man, praying, and he's a very good practicing Muslim. And he said, I have said few verses. Is it possible that you pass it on to the president? I said, look, I have not only 8 more days, but I have to live in Pakistan. And then I said, no, at least could you say that in front of Governor Sahab? I said, जान की अमान पाऊंगा और बेगम साहब आएंगी तो फिर मैं मुझे सहारा होगा और फिर मैं बात करूंगा. He wrote 2 verses for president. He spoke yesterday कि मेरे कातिल वो अदा हो कि सदा याद रहे, वार ऐसा हो कि जख्मों को मज़ा याद रहे, और तेरी तस्वीर जो बुतखाने में रख दी जाए तब मैं जानूं कि पुजारी को खुदा याद रहे. I think that was a sentiment. I give you feedbacks. It's not mine, his feedbacks. I want to appreciate from me. No, I'm still Mufti. Now, the thing is, I want to really appreciate Hamid Sahib. I want to appreciate all my faculty, Fazal, just I said Khuda ka Fazal, and my faculty kindly just stand and we applause for them because they work day and day. I want to thank APPNA for what they did. This is a co-host. APPNA is our co-host. I want to tell Hussain Saab, Pracha Saab, Javed has done fantastic. I want to apologize if there are any difficulties happen. It so happened that Governor Saab said teething problem. We had some teething problems. It was probably slip. We couldn't, I think Jameel Saab couldn't publish some of the messages from APPNA people. I apologize. I take the responsibility and I apologize. Your guest, we respect you. It is APPNA who has made this whole show very beautiful. Let us have a great applause for APPNA leaders. I think I also confess and then go. I think all these days and even throughout my life, because I was a volunteer. I'm basically a volunteer. गलती से principal बन गया. किसी ने बना दिया. बनाना नहीं चाहते थे, बस बन गए. जरूरत पड़ी stuff भी आ गया. But the thing is, I tell you honestly, that I haven't seen my wife and my children throughout my career as a principal. Very few days, because of the pressure of the work, and particularly here now, what we see in this great mood. I want to thank Farah, 2 children, Ali, Ahmad, and my sweet daughter, Sahar, who really wants to meet Begum Governor because she has not. And yesterday she told Governor Sahab that ji, agar aap hame nahi bulate hain, to aap hamare ghar par aa jaye. So with that, thank you very much.
Just like to request Dr. Faraj just for a few comments.
Honorable Governor, welcome Governor, Professor Mufti, dear Khyberians, and my own dear APPNA family. It's really an honor and a pleasure to participate in the Jubilee celebration of Khyber Medical College. As you know, Pakistani Americans have been coming for the last 25 years every winter to sort of share our knowledge and maybe some expertise with the local college here. Some of us, like me, who went to the United States in the late 60s and early 70s, have grown old. But the love of our country and the love of our homeland has never faded away from our hearts. We still feel after living for so many years the same way as we did when we left here. As a future president of APPNA, I hope that APPNA will continue this tradition of having a joint session in the winter time between APPNA and whatever colleges that we choose in rotation. I hope, as a future president of APPNA, that we make some contribution to the basic health care, the basic education in our homeland. There are some encouraging signs in this land of pure. In Islamabad, the shining lights do hit you, but the inner cities and the villages at every step come and bite you. We hope that as Pakistanis living in America, that we can make some contribution to the welfare, like Umar Atiq said, for the poor of this country. Now, on a personal note, Umar Atiq is not only an eloquent speaker, he's very intelligent, and today I came to know that he's also a Pathan mafia, because he can call Javed Lala, and Javed Lala will do anything that he wants to do. So, my ancestors are not too far from Peshawar. I grew up in Quetta, but my family is from Makkah, which is just close by here. So maybe I can pick some Makkadis or Quetta people to do the work that Javed Lala does.
Thank you very much. I came here last year in June, and I was really amazed, and I'm not exaggerating, the development that I have seen going on in NWFP. And I was told that this all is the result of Governor Saab's efforts. I mean, there are so many universities, roads, colleges. It's just unbelievable. You have to be here to see how much development is going on. And I'm not saying anything in your face or exaggerating, but I really, really mean it. I wish you had been the governor 10 years ago. I think we would have been much, much better. So at this time, I would like to request you, sir, to come and say a few words.
Actually, when I was invited for this dinner, I had little inclination and little information that prior to consuming dinner, we will have to feed ourselves with lot many speeches. So, first of all, Dr. Naseem Ashraf, Dr. Umar Atiq, Khalid Mufti Saab, and very, very distinguished professionals from all over the country. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor and privilege for me and my wife for being invited here at your annual dinner. We consider it a great honor. Actually, I am now associated with the Golden Jubilee celebrations for the last 3 days. First it was convocation, then the President's inaugural address, and today this annual dinner. And I just want to tell you that the APPNA today, when they invited us, we thought that it is a very unique situation. Unique in the sense that they are both hosts, and as far as Frontier is concerned, they are guests as well. And similarly, I am guest as well as host. So, most welcome to the Frontier province. And I have also been informed the contribution which APPNA has made in co-hosting and co-sponsoring these Golden Jubilee celebrations, and also supporting the Khyber Medical College. A reference has been made repeatedly about the setting up of medical university, or the Khyber Medical University, or whatever the name it is going to get. I just want to tell you that yesterday when this demand was being made, prior to that, there was a lot of persuasions and coaxing and cajoling being done by Dr. Naseem Ashraf. He was actually the prime mover behind this whole thing. And right there at the stage when we were sitting, there was a small discussion taking place between me, the President, and the Chief Minister as to how to go about it and how the President should announce this. Because there are three players involved in this. One is the provincial government, who has to pass this in the Assembly as an ordinance. Then this ordinance has to be approved by me and sent to the Higher Education Commission, where they get the approval. So we decided that if the Chief Minister agrees to it and he makes a pledge that he will get this ordinance through the Assembly as quickly as possible, we will do the rest in very few days. And he promised that. And I hope that very soon that ordinance comes to us, and rest, I can assure you, Dr. Khalid Mufti, I think it will be done within next 8 days before you retire.